Welcome to the show, one and all. Give everyone a few minutes to come on in here. Okay. Give everyone a little more time to come on in. All right, let's get into this. We're not going to do the entire broadcast for obvious reasons, but this is from the DSA, excuse me, the Democratic Socialists of America. Solidarity melts ice, reporting from Minneapolis. Okay.
Message.
Great. A guy with a testosterone level in the single digits.
Awesome. Love seeing folks from all over. Martha, it's a great song.
Your green screen is not working out well.
Love all of these.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to skip ahead till they actually get into something.
Just out of frame laughing too.
Yes.
Okay, these two are flirting with one another.
Yeah, we can give it, a few more minutes, but
Jesus Christ, you're fucking 5 minutes in!
26. And what is then I'll see, kind of got in store for us for that. I think,
Oh my God,
there's
riveting
never been
fucking
more important
content.
time.
All right, who's this dickhead? Well, I guess I'll go to this dick face.
When the real surge was starting to get going, we had some raids in the summer beforehand, but really wasn't anything. It was
great. A guy that's probably in his 50s that doesn't know that socialism doesn't fucking work.
important, got activists moving, but it wasn't, it didn't continue. And didn't produce the whole community of whistling and stuff that we were hearing throughout the surge. For educators, we had a group in our union, and they had gotten going.
Unions suck. I say this from experience. They do nothing to protect workers.
That's sort of aligned with the rank and file caucus that a number of us are involved in. They had got going about a year or so.
And again, I'm talking from experience. They always said, don't worry, the union will make sure you always have a job. Yeah. Then people started getting laid off, and they're like, well, we'll make sure you keep your pay and benefits, but you're going to have to do all the legwork. How is that a good deal for me?
So before that, when Trump was initially elected,
you ever been in one, Phoenix?
Mostly to sort of press the district on what could we do? Like, what would happen if ICE came to school? What are our rules and stuff around this? And I bring that up for a number of reasons. That group was really, really important, and I'll bring it up a number of times as I
Hey,
continue.
Juice.
But one of the things is that they worked on policy. So that policy being in place, that was like the district says that you can tell ICE to go fuck off if they don't have a judicial warrant or whatever. I mean,
Well, ICE doesn't really need a warrant. Now, do they? Again, these are not... Oh, God. I'm not going to bother to explain how immigration is different than regular criminal court.
being facetious a little bit, but that they weren't letting them in the building was really important because even if that's technically legally the way it is anyway, and none of these like ICE agents have actually tried to go in a school to date.
Because, well, okay, ICE operates under the executive, not the judicial.
Here or anywhere, as far as I understand it, it was
immigration judges are executive judges, not judicial judges.
important to give our members confidence that we could do this, that we could push back. And that was, again, rank and file efforts of our members who did that, who pressed the school board and other district officials to make this happen. So then the ICE surge starts to kick in, get underway. You know, like,
Jesus Christ, I don't give a fuck about your stupid story. Who's this yutz?
having a little bit of challenges in some unions, like my own, of getting our unions to sign on to this kind of thing. It's likely that there will
Well, because a lot of unions, believe it or not, broke for Trump. And a lot of union members did as well. Maybe that's your resistance.
be a number of people participating. We're hoping that it'll get to the same size as the 23rd or bigger. And if no Kings is an indication, then maybe. Of course, that's on a Saturday. And
Except we don't have a king. Trump is not a king. What are you people gonna do on January 20th, 2029, when Trump leaves office? What the fuck are you gonna talk about then? Phoenix, you can want to be anything you want. I want to be Superman and Emperor of America. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Oh, and by the way, if I ever did become Emperor of America, you think The Handmaid's Tale was bad. Just wait till you see what I have in store.
it's a little different than taking the day off of work. But in any case, that's sort of the push.
Don't worry. There'll still be hookers and blackjack. Screw the blackjack.
And the drive for that. And, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much, Dan. That was incredible. Next, we'll be hearing from Bull, who is also an organizer in the Twin Cities.
Oh, God, these people share my state.
Awesome.
I can't decide if she's hot or not.
Well, thank you, Dan, for the good summary. I'll keep mine a little short because I feel like Dan covered a lot of things. But what's up, y'all? My name is Bull Benjamin. I use he, him pronouns here in the Twin Cities. And yeah, like Dan mentioned,
Of all the fads and things that I wish would die, the whole I'm, John James Jingle Schmeier Schmidt, and I use he, him. We know what fucking pronouns you are. You're a man.
a lot of my involvement comes from, being a staff organizer at Local 26. I've been a labor organizer in the Twin Cities for like 7 years and have been in the movement for 10 years. So yeah, I mean, pretty much, where the 23rd came from was here in the Twin Cities. We saw what Trump was doing in places like LA, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. And like Dan said, the labor movement here in the Twin Cities has been blessed with a lot of experience of collaboration and working together. We in 2024 decided to try to align all the contracts of the major striking unions. And even though we
I don't recall any unions going on strike. I would have heard about it.
We didn't all go on strike together. It was good just to kind of like have that, that experience of like collaborating with other unions, looking under like different organizations' hoods, really kind of knowing like how different unions work together. It just made it easy to
Well, I don't care. I just think it's stupid.
collaborate later in the future. But yeah, after seeing what Donald Trump was doing out in these other cities, representatives from Local 26.
And let's see, did it stop anything? No. So you literally just wasted your time. By the way, if you worked for me and you decided to take the day off for a general strike or whatever, or to go to the stupid No Kings protest, I'd fire you.
Which is a service industry union, security officers and janitors, teachers unions, the nurses unions, faith leaders, and other like worker centers came together and started planning. What would we do if Donald Trump invaded the Twin Cities? And so we had these conversations like last summer in June, and really just kind of.
Well, you can bitch and complain and protest all you like. You're allowed to do that, as long as you keep it peaceful and quiet. You can do that all you like. You're just wasting your fucking time, though. This is why I say being an activist for anything is the dumbest fucking thing on the planet. It's a complete waste of time. You would literally be better served working a second job. At least that would pay you.
Like going over like red
Of course, then again, a lot of these protesters are paid, so there's that.
lines and what we need to do in each one of our sectors in like society to make sure that we're prepared for an invasion by ICE or the National Guard. So like Dan said, the teachers unions really went
Oh, yes, I can, especially if I bust the union.
hard in establishing policy to be able to fight against ICE. The same thing in like in the janitorial security.
Or like if I was the CEO of Starbucks, any store that I would literally say any store that unionizes, I'm shutting down.
Fields at hospitals.
I have an utter detestment of unions.
All that. So we had like a few months to run and get the policy down, and then Donald Trump sent ICE into Minnesota. Like folks here know, they sent a crazy amount of federal agents to our little Twin Cities, and luckily,
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Nobody noticed they were there. The fuck are you talking about?
we had been preparing for months. So what that had looked like was like, part of the contingency plan was like.
All I got to do is say, sorry, that store was underperforming and I couldn't afford the union wages, so operations became unsustainable. That is legal.
Okay, looking forward, we need a plan on what we do if they come in. And also, looking forward to November's election, we feel like this guy is going to try to steal the election.
Steelworkers United? I was part of the SW, the Steelworkers United. Okay. Look, to be completely fair, some unions are better than others, and there's a very few industries where unions actually make sense. But these are specialized industries that involve a lot of independent contractors. It makes sense from that point, just so you have, for health insurance purposes.
And in order to protect ourselves and our democracy, we have to at least be able to go on a general strike by November. So what kind of structure test can we have,
Okay, I'm done with this. These people are boring as shit. Okay,
This May,
hold on.
save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires.
With Vinted, Donna can easily earn extra cash. She just has to list and sell what she doesn't wear.
No.
All right, so they said their rights were taken, so we asked them to name one. All right, I'd love to know which rights have been taken or not taken, because the answer is 0.
You don't ever get to talk to us about disenfranchising voters.
Who's being disenfranchised? No one. What, you need a government ID to vote? Sorry, I think any reasonable adult is capable of getting a fucking ID. They all seem to be driving cars, or getting liquor, or getting on a plane, or getting a job, checking into a hotel room. You can't live as an adult without an ID.
Ever.
And yes, I can literally say, and I will say with a straight face, no eligible voter has been disenfranchised, point blank, period.
Virginia, thanks for reminding us that 51% of the voters can take away 49% of their neighbors' rights.
Yeah, this is because of the Virginia redistricting bullshit.
Hey, Timmy there. I see some, inconsistencies here, so I'd just like to talk about it. So you feel like the 49% was disenfranchised by the 51%, even though the people in Virginia got to vote, unlike the disenfranchised people of Texas, like myself, that didn't get to vote on a redistricting map because just the government of Texas just decided to do it on their own.
But you were allowed to elect the representatives that decided to redraw Texas's map. Different states have different laws, sweetheart.
Us. That kind of felt like a disenfranchisement. But I mean, you put up some percentages. You had your feelings about it.
You, quite frankly, you still get to vote, so you still haven't lost any rights. You elected representatives that decided to redraw the maps. Vote for somebody different next time.
Also have a little map to put up. I felt like 49.8% of people might have disenfranchised 48.3% of people.
Well, let's see. Trump won all 7 swing states. He won the House. He won the Senate. He won the Electoral College. And he won the fucking popular vote.
Their neighbors, with their rights and everything. I don't know about you, Timmy, if you feel the same way about that. Even though they got to vote, the people got to vote, and, you accepted that vote and you were happy about that vote. I just feel like maybe that same rule kind of applies here. With saying...
Yeah, but I think it's bullshit that a state... I mean, take a look at Massachusetts. Massachusetts, Donald Trump got approximately, if my memory serves, about 40% of the vote. Massachusetts has 0 Republican representatives because of the way their maps are drawn. Virginia deliberately went out of its way to eliminate all but one of the Republican districts.
That somebody was disenfranchised and stuff as a neighbor. You just let me know, Timmy, okay? I'll post this on your post and you just let me know. It's a beautiful day to spice shit up. This is your political...
Allow me to take it a step further and then ask a question, if I could, please. First, it isn't even that 49.8% disenfranchised 48.3%, because there was also 1.9% that voted for other, which means, in total, over 50% of the voters voted against Donald Trump.
Yeah, but then we got to break down all the other minor parties that make up the, let's just say 2%. If you eliminated them, Kamala's not getting 100% of the vote. Donald Trump's going to get probably roughly half, aka he still wins.
The minority actually disenfranchised the majority in this instance, right, Timmy? I mean, if we were to use your logic, over half the people
you're
that
not using his logic, or at least you're doing it with the thinnest possible. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've heard of string theory, but fuck,
voted in that election did not want Donald Trump. Let's take it a step further and ask you a question. What rights did you lose in that redistricting vote in Virginia?
Okay, this one I'll grant you. None. But they did lose a lot of representation in Virginia. Don't you find it odd that about 90% of the seats go to, in this new map, mysteriously go to Democrats? And you can see these districts were cherry-rigged to hell. And by the way, if the Republican states ever start doing it, Democrats will never be in the majority again, at least in the House.
That's how you started your video. You said, thanks for reminding us that 51% of the voters can take away the rights of 49% of the voters. What rights did you lose? Do you no longer have the ability to vote? Are you no longer represented by an elected representative? Do you no longer have any of your constitutional rights because this vote?
Okay, then let me go a step further. Why is it that in Oregon, specifically, 2 counties decide the entire governor's race? If Oregon had a electoral college system, or if governors were decided by an electoral college, the Democrat would never get elected. It's simply Salem and Portland specifically, that elects the governor. Meanwhile, the rest of the state has to live with the ridiculous leftist policies. Take my state. If it was not for Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Rochester, and to a degree Duluth, the governor would never be a goddamn Democrat. Every other county votes red. I'm just saying. This is my argument for the Electoral College. Because if we switch to a national popular vote, and good luck with that, then New York, Chicago, and LA would decide the elections.
Took place. And if you believe that you lost rights as a result of the people of Virginia voting to redistrict their states, then do you believe that people in Texas, Florida, and other red states that have already redistricted over the last year and a half caused the people who voted against those measures to have rights lost? You're going to have to...
Let me ask you a question. When the voters of California voted to keep marriage between one man and one woman, and the Supreme Court eventually nullified that, why are you going against the will of the people there, Tom? Just saying. Remember, California, Prop 8 passed. I mean, even I was shocked by the result. All right, let's do some rapid fire shorts. This one's from Asmongold, but I need more beer.
Everywhere.
I am not afraid. I will fight for liberation.
I am not afraid. I hate your fucking guts. Get a job, you fucking losers.
Fun's over, boy. Uh-oh.
I am not afraid. Go protest on the ground.
Why are you being arrested?
I'm being arrested for peacefully protesting the horrible treatment of human beings by ICE agents.
It's called obstruction of justice.
Is that that simple? This is what they need.
Yeah, and any prosecutor that failed to prosecute him, I'd fire.
And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations? It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years, 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with it.
And again, the last person that was ever a slave died in 1953, if my memory is correct. And she was an infant. She basically died the minutes before the amendment was ratified.
Will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has...
Where's the moral level? You were never a slave. Your mom was not a slave. Your grandma was not a slave. Your great-grandma was not a slave. Your great-great-grandma was not a slave. Maybe, just maybe, your great-great-great-grandmother might have been. But I also know you have some white ancestry. I can tell just by looking at you.
Has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider Black people equal, and it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to
nose ring.
Shifting the mindset around the use of Black people as a labor force in this nation.
Well, for me to use Black people as a labor force, first I'd have to interview them, hire them, pay them an agreed upon wage, most likely furnish benefits like medical, dental, vision, 401k, shit like that. And they're free to leave this employment anytime they wish. That isn't slavery. That's me giving somebody a job.
Back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So
no, prisoners are paid. And to become a prisoner, you need to do a little bit more than just be some black guy walking down the street getting Starbucks. You have to commit a crime. And then you go through not one, but two trials. One's the grand jury. The other is the actual trial. You are provided an attorney. And you must be proved guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. What do you suggest we do with criminals?
On a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say,
except you were not damaged.
Our bad. We see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the...
Yeah, but there's and look, I disagree with the war on drugs. I disagree with minimum sentencing for drugs. I don't think consenting adults buying substances should be illegal. But that's not what the law says. They were selling shit that was illegal to sell. Okay, in some states, they've tried and failed to make it illegal to sell firearms at your house. Basically a private sale. What's the difference?
The case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in
Okay, to whom do the reparations go? Because first, what if this family immigrated to America in 1983? They were never slaves. What if, they immigrated post-slavery? Do they get reparations? Also, you're going to have to verify that at least one of their ancestors was enslaved. 2, then you're going to have to verify that they are not the descendant of a black slave owner, because there were about 3,000 black slave owners owning approximately 40,000 black slaves. You see how complicated this is getting? And then, as I can tell with you, what if you had a white ancestor? What if one part of your family owned the other part of your family? Do you pay yourself? Like, you see how ridiculous this argument is?
Repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede black people.
Also, Can maybe the white people get some money from you guys? Because, 600,000 of us had to die to end it?
How long are we gonna?
Next. I'll save this one. All right, let's do this.
Not be rejected because of her weight. You say that. Why is that? Help me
Can't
out.
just reject women because of the face or the weight.
So let me
Why not?
just remind you a few of your positions. You don't want to date.
Now, look, some guys like heavy chicks. That's in the eye of the beholder. But at the same time,
Chinese men.
you can't deny the health benefit.
You don't want to date men with small penises. You will only date men. In fact, it's not just that. You think men who are below 5'11", 180 centimeters are not real men. And men can't control their
Great. So I'm not a real man according to this dumb bitch.
height. Women can control their weight.
Does have nice tits, though.
So if you can reject a guy because of his height, why can't a man reject a woman because of her weight?
I think it's different.
Why is it different? I would argue that it's more unjust or unfair to reject a guy because of his height, because he can't control it at all, than it would be to...
Well, to be completely fair, yes, a guy can. There are two ways. One, he can get a couple of inches if he lifts a lot. The other way is there is a surgery. I don't recommend it. But basically what they do is they break the guy's femur bones and they insert a rod. And this rod grows about a centimeter, I can't remember, a centimeter a day or a week. Whatever it is. Anyway, at the end of the day, and by the way, this costs like 50 grand. At the end of the day, he'll gain, I think, like 4 to 6 inches, something like that. But basically, he's going to be walking around on stilts the rest of his life. I suppose, yeah, okay, to be completely fair, lifts can help him.
to reject a woman because of her weight, which is something that she has.
But, I mean, keep in mind, once your pants come off, I mean, this woman is going to be weirded out by the fact that your fucking shins are twice as long as your thighs.
Control over.
No, I think if a man judge women like from the weight, it's just disrespectful.
Don't you think it's disrespectful to judge a man based on his
No, I don't think
size?
So. I
or
need
height?
to judge a man.
Women.
Oh my god, the legends are true. Apparently, Asian females can be airheads. Son of a bitch. Who knew?
Because
To
I'm
judge
choosing
men.
the man.
You're choosing the man.
Yeah, so I need to judge him.
Men are also choosing you.
I don't care.
So it's only bad if men do it?
Mm-hmm.
So men can't judge women, but women can definitely judge men.
Yeah.
A woman should not.
Bitch, I hope you find a man quickly, but keep in mind, a very few men are 6 feet and over. Just saying. All right. All right, this will be the last short for a minute till I get to Andrew Wilson.
Things as a man that you just like shouldn't do that's strictly for the ladies.
Okay, what are those things?
Oh yes? What particular activities have restrictions based on gender are we talking about today? You're gonna love this one.
And one of those things is going through phones. Why as a
What? Going through your phone, but you can go through my phone.
man, are you going through a phone?
I think the better question.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I suspect you're seeing another guy behind my back. Just not for nothing.
Question would be, why, if a person is in especially a committed relationship, would they be acting in such a way that someone would feel the need to go through their phone?
Collect your life, go mow a yard, or sign up for the war.
Frankly, I think that women that say statements like that in regards to what men should be doing in regards to gender roles should be some of the first ones out there themselves mowing the lawn and on the front lines.
There's no reason for you to ever be going through a phone. Literally ever.
No reason. No reason at all, huh? Now, to be very clear, I'm not an advocate for people going through other people's phones. I've often been of the opinion that a person should just be honest in a relationship. But the biggest reason that any person would go through another person's phone is because they're acting suspicious and they lie. And yes, that goes for women as well.
Sure. Last I checked, women are adult females capable of lying. All right, we'll do crying liberals.
It can't be a fucking coincidence. I've never
And septum ring theory.
had a good...
And holy shit, you got the bull ring, the side nose ring, and the ring in the upper lip. We desperately need to restrict women being able to get things pierced.
male fucking figure in my life, and I've never had a man treat me right romantically.
So, oh my God. So she's got daddy issues, boyfriend issues, probably uncle issues, probably didn't have a brother. Just date chicks and yeah, just date chicks. You'll be happier.
I've never even had a good male friend. So someone sit here and fucking tell me what the fuck is wrong with y'all.
Because men have a low tolerance for overly emotional bitches like you.
You know what fucking sucks? What fucking sucks so bad is fighting for people who...
Nose ring!
Who literally could give a shit less about you. People who...
Look, I don't know how to tell you this. Nobody, outside of a small group of people, nobody gives a shit about anyone. Okay, this idea of empathy is a fucking lie. You don't give a single rat's ass what happens to some guy in Poland. Or hell, 3 towns over. Or hell, 3 blocks over. Outside of a small group of people consisting of family, friends, and co-workers, you don't give a sauteed rat's ass about the rest of the human population.
get on your Facebook post and on your TikTok post and tell you that you're a leftist loony, or that liberalism is a mental disorder, or any of those terrible things that you all get in my comments and say. We are out here fighting for the rights of everyone. Every person.
And how are you fighting? By singing terrible songs? By staging do-nothing protests? Making TikToks? Writing on your blog? Oh, that's right, you're not doing jack shit.
Should have equal rights on a human level. I don't think that that's such a crazy, wild thing to hope for. And all you guys do is tear people down. And then you're like, but Biden.
No. I just present reality. That's the reality of it.
But Obama.
Well, yeah, because you guys blame Trump for everything. You think he built the detention camps? No. Obama did. You think we're the only country that does this? Hell, a bunch of people fled to the fucking Netherlands and they're sitting in their refugee camps. And yeah, this whole but this, but that, and you guys do but Trump 24-7.
But what? Okay, they are not the president anymore. They do not need to act presidential anymore.
Yes, but we can look back at what they did while they were president. And when you criticize Trump for, let's say, setting up a detention center for illegal migrants, we can go, well, but Obama was the one that built the motherfucker. Okay? Do you understand how that works?
Anymore. They both still do. There is more class in their pinky fingers than Trump has in his whole body.
Yeah, I don't give a Okay, you know what? I'll grant you that. Yes, they are classier gentlemen. Trump is boorish and rude. Guess what? He's a better president. I don't give a fuck if he's crude and rude and crass. Don't give a shit.
His whole cabinet. So, like, how about you guys try to stop being so fucking hateful and try to relate to people on, like, a human level?
I'm relating to you on a human level. And I'm telling you, on a human level, you are making a great argument to repeal the 19th.
Instead of being so fucking judgmental and hateful and need.
I'm not hateful. I'm judgmental. I grant you that. So are you. You just made a judgment on Trump. Literally 10 seconds ago.
Getting everybody to fit your little mold. Can we try that?
I've come to the conclusion that for as
you will never be his equal.
long as men think that there are leaders, they will always see themselves as higher in the hierarchy than we are.
Generally, yes, in most situations, men do take a natural leadership position. This isn't because we want to oppress women. This isn't because we hate you. It's because it's kind of the way nature set this shit up. Secondly, there are plenty of female leaders, female CEOs. Third, the second the shit hits the fan, though, you all look for men to lead you out of harm's way.
Function in the mindset of a hierarchy. That is how they are wired. So when they think that they're your leader, they are automatically telling you they are above you. Okay, we are always going to be stuck with a boot on our neck for as long as they think that they have a birthright because of the gender that they were born into. Until men understand that they are not automatically the leaders of us simply because of their gender that they were born in.
You know, if we actually wanted to force you to follow us, we can do it. Men do have a monopoly on force. We can make you do what we want. You can't make us do what you want. Like, that's just the reality. If you want a perfect example of this, take, I believe it was Saudi Arabia. When we were there, girls were in school, girls were in college, they had jobs, they could walk around without men. The U.S. males leave. The Taliban males take over, and in literally one afternoon, girls are back in hijabs. They're back in, they can't go to school beyond 5th grade. They can't work, and they can't leave the house without a male escort. Which has just got to be fucking annoying to be a male in that society.
We will never have equal respect from them. It is the source.
Oh my God. And this is something else that women do not understand about respect, or at least liberal women like her. Respect is earned, not given away. You don't get respect from somebody else just by existing. Every man understands this. If you think respect is just given away because you happen to be there, you're living in a delusional fantasy realm. That would have been Joe Biden, your buddy.
Of the problem, and until we change that, we will never get.
And Bill Clinton nurtured it, so still both Democrats, if you want to know about the Taliban.
Anywhere. And for every woman that says, I don't mind him leading, first of all, he's not even leading, right? In the house, in the home, he's not even leading. What is he even leading, honey?
He's making the decisions. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Seriously, for as long as you've been the adult woman within that household, you have been the one.
Yeah, $20 says this bitch lives with about 6 cats.
Leading it. You need to finally claim ownership of that leadership role.
And where is the United States military right now? Where are you guys? Didn't you take a vow to protect this country from foreign and domestic threats? Isn't that what the military does? And
yes, we went to war in 2001 after 9/11, but the Taliban was already an established thing by that point.
I'm not like trying to be nasty or anything right now, but we're living in a world, in a country, America.
Okay, Trump's been president not once, but twice, and he's been a president for a while in his second term. What fucking rights have you lost outside of none?
Where there's, grape academies and, the leaders are, did you see the file about the shrimp where they called kids shrimp? Trigger warning. Don't go look at it if you are very sensitive, because the way that they speak about children.
Is this something new? Assuming this is true and she's not just making shit up, did the meaning of shrimp change? Because when I was a kid, the only time I ever heard this, it just meant somebody smaller than you. And usually it was an older sibling teasing a younger sibling. I will throw myself. I may be completely ignorant of something.
Shrimp. Do you know what you do with shrimps? You take the head off.
Yeah, if you want to eat it. You also have to take out a shit sack. What the hell? What the fuck are you talking about?
And they're not kidding. This is back and forth correspondence. Where is the United States military to protect its people? I'm genuinely dead ass asking. Where are you?
So let me get this straight. You guys will draw the line when it comes to...
Okay, no septum ring, but lip ring and eyebrow ring.
Your gas price is skyrocketing, and you'll draw the line when it comes to him portraying himself as your god. But
when did Trump do that? I mean, outside of the context of a joke. I know humor is a foreign concept to the left, but
his 34 felonies, one of which was stealing from his own child's cancer research fund, which is why he's no longer...
Yeah, the felony charges were completely trumped up and complete bullshit, and by the way, got overturned. So he's no longer a felon, sweetheart. Try again.
Longer allowed to own charities, by the way. We can forgive that. His 29 sexual assault allegations, one of which was proven in a court of law.
Just a civil court of law in a biased district, and that will probably be overturned as well.
We can forgive that.
Also, the woman he supposedly assaulted sat on that for 20 fucking years. So forgive me if I have a little bit of X to doubt.
His blatant racism, both online...
Can you provide any evidence of that? Then why did the late Jesse Jackson give him award after award? Why did the NCAA or the NAACP give him an award? You can look this shit up, you know.
And refusing to rent his apartments to people of color back in the day. We can forgive that too. Him threatening to genocide 93 million people on Twitter and True Social.
When the fuck did he say that? And A, is there any movement in said direction?
As the president of the U.S., acting as if that's normal.
Oh, God. Can somebody fix this bitch? Jesus Christ.
We can forgive that. And we can also
No, fuck it. She has crazy eyes.
forgive him being listed in the Epstein files more times than your God is listed in your Bible.
Bill Clinton's listed a lot more than him.
We can forgive that.
And by the way, just because you're listed in 10,000 pages of documents doesn't mean you're guilty of dick.
Do you guys hear how dumb you sound? Like,
one of the things about killing all the men to wrestle with the patriarchy is you gotta...
Wait, what?
like...
One of the things about killing all the men to wrestle...
So you kill all the men, so the human race has approximately, at most, 70 years left. And you're going to spend 69 and a half of it living in the Stone Age. Let's say you get your wish and all men die. All the men drop dead tomorrow at noon. You got about a half a day, and then the power grid without constant maintenance starts to fail. That's just the first of your problems. That's the most immediate one.
With the patriarchy is you got to start small, okay, in your everyday life.
As for the matriarchy succeeding, bitch, there has never been a successful matriarchy in the history of ever. The only one you can point to is the Amazons, and they're mythical.
You got to start being able to talk to men, how they talk to women. You got to tell them, fuck off. You got to tell them...
Okay, that's not going to hurt our feelings. I'll just be like, fuck you too, bitch. Not that I'd talk to you anyway, because you're ugly.
Leave me the
I'm sorry, but you're like a fucking 4. So enjoy your cats.
Fuck alone. You got to tell them, no, you're stupid. You have to put them in their place quickly and with even more audacity.
She probably... I don't know if she's joking or not, but I don't really care, because Lord knows if women wanted to challenge men to a war, it'd be over in 10 minutes. And her side would not be the victors.
Than they have, right? This is the only way they're going to learn. And you can't hem it.
You do know that if you piss off a man and it gets to the point of physicality, you're fucked, right? You are literally going to be a cunt to men who you assume will be benevolent enough not to pound you into pudding.
And haw and those tactics, they're gone. We're not doing that anymore. That's for another day and age, okay? It's gotten us nowhere. They don't learn. They take it as you're flirting. No, you got to just tell them, I'm a man. Lie. I'm a man. Leave me alone. Don't.
No, I can tell you're not a man by no Adam's apple and tits. Or the fact that you can't even open up the pickle jar.
Tell them, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, I can't. I'm a man. Or ask them for money. That always makes them go away. Ask
that could backfire on you. Because there's a certain type of woman that asks a man for money for one specific thing. You might want to be careful on that. Just saying.
them for money. Oh, hey, girl, you're so beautiful. Pump my gas. Tell them what to do. Pump my...
Nobody is saying you're beautiful. I'm sorry.
Make it really dramatic, because they're the most dramatic species on Earth, truly.
It's interesting to live in a time where we have so much access to our phones and devices that have camera and video capabilities. Because when I see officers...
What is her... Chinga la... Whatever.
Officers using excessive force and People are losing their lives. And the officer's excuse is, I feared for my life.
Well, that's why officers, and I think it's a good idea, wear body cams now so we know exactly what happened. And generally, yeah, if you put your hand in a dark area where the officer can't see, you might get shot.
That is insane to me, because as a woman, if I acted on every time I felt unsafe, the world would look a heck of a lot different than it does right now.
When did you feel unsafe? And maybe this is why you need a man to be with you to protect you. Or get a concealed carry permit.
This is a direct call to action against the U.S. government. We are
a direct call to action against the U.S. government. Honey, you look like you'd last exactly 8 seconds in a war. A call to action against the government is literally asking for a revolution, which is a war.
We are demanding the removal of the Trump administration. The Trump administration has been in...
You're not going to get... Okay. You're not going to get the removal of the Trump administration. Okay, that's impossible. Let's say, sake of argument, Trump tonight has a massive heart attack. Massive heart attack. And is rushed to the hospital and surrounded by his loved ones, unfortunately doesn't make it. We don't have a new election. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court will walk in. J.D. Vance will take the oath of office right then, right there, boom. But let's say as J.D. Vance runs to the hospital bed where the president is fighting for his life, wham! Hit by a bus. He's gone too. Then you're still not going to get a new election. Mike Johnson will then take the oath of office. But let's say at that moment, as he's getting the call, he gets so excited, he falls down the stairs and breaks his neck. You still don't get an election. Then the Senate whip, whoever the fuck that is, he takes the oath of office. Like, you're not going to get a new election for president. God damn.
Competent, corrupt, and a danger to all Americans. We are closer than ever to being bombed or nuked. Enough is enough.
From who? Seriously, from who?
Enough.
And if let's say you know what, I'm just going to keep it at that. From who?
Refusal to impeach and remove will be seen as an act of high treason.
To remove the president, you need to have a majority of the House to move the article of impeachments to the Senate. Okay? They tried this twice with him. Right? Now, you just need a simple majority in the House to get that done. So let's say you win the midterms, which historically may happen, probably will happen. But in the Senate, you need over a 2/3 majority for conviction. And there'll be a trial. You're not going to get a Senate with 68 Democrats. That's just not going to happen. I don't even think there's enough seats for that to happen.
The Trump administration must be removed, and now. Our lives and the future are at stake. We must act now.
I'm gonna need
Yeah. Good luck with that, sweetie.
a lawyer to come on here and explain it to me like I am 5. No. Like I am 3. No. like I am 18 months old.
I wouldn't explain anything to an 18-month-old. They can't understand anything.
Can you please explain to me how we aren't impeaching him?
Because he hasn't done anything to violate his oath to the office of the presidency. Trump has acted within the confines of his power, which I'll grant you was greatly expanded after 9/11, but that's what the American people wanted.
Genuinely.
And once government grows, it never shrinks back down. If it was up to me, if I was elected president, one of the first things I would dismantle would be every single goddamn, God, what the fuck are they called? It's going to drive me nuts. All the security people at the airport, the travel, whatever the fuck. All those people. We go back to the airports of 1995. We had one attack. We haven't had one since. I'm willing to take the gamble.
Because I must be...
TSA, thank you. First thing I do, dismantle the TSA. Gone. Or I transfer them to other departments, most likely ICE. I would make the border extremely secure, so we don't really have to worry about it.
Fucking stupid, because I don't understand it. How are we not impeaching him?
Because again, we have they have no grounds. And even if they did, it'd be a waste of time.
One of my favorite things to do on TikTok is comment who do you vote for on those videos that girls post of their guy friends, and it's like some hot guy that like he owns his own house, his name is Austin, he has a dog, he has a truck. I have no idea why he's single, but they never put who he voted for in the video.
I can tell why you're single.
So I always ask to make them say that they voted for Trump because he's single, because he hates women, because he voted for Trump, because Trump hates women.
You know, Trump got a lot of the lady vote. Just saying. There's a lot of ladies of MAGA.
And he is a pedophile.
I voted for Trump, so Lady, you might want to sue whoever gave you your tattoos, because I think I think the ink has poisoned your fucking brain. Specifically the logic center.
And every single time I comment back, yikes, that's so embarrassing. And then the girl tries to come for my looks because I think it's embarrassing that you voted for a pedophile and won't admit to it and aren't embarrassed by it. Okay. All right. Totally fine. If you've got nothing else to say and you want to say I'm ugly, cool. I'm taken, babe. I don't give a fuck who your man voted for.
Wow, I'd love to see her husband.
I'm looking out for the girls. I do it for the girls that are in the comments thinking that man's...
Unless she married a chick. That's possible. Anyway, I've had enough of her dumbass.
Your brain, because
Oh, no.
I genuinely...
Oh, great. Now a crazy chick's gonna ruin a good movie.
feel like it's not a whole lot of thinking. The anti-bullying protection from Instagram saved my ass over the last couple months because there was this guy commenting on essentially every single story. Insulting my looks, insulting my intelligence, calling me a loser, blah, 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 blah. Let me make this very clear. You can't insult me if I don't respect you. I quite literally...
Fair enough.
respect the ground I walk on, the dirt beneath my feet, more than I respect a maggot.
Well, if it's any consolation, I have absolutely zero respect for you, too, so... But I'm more irritated with the fact that you're wearing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt. I wish you wouldn't wear a t-shirt with a movie that cool.
I've seen what you...
As for your looks, you're not unattractive. Wish you didn't have the tattoos, but that's just more of a personal thing of mine. I mean, I wouldn't date you because, you know, the nose ring. It identifies crazy liberal bitch.
Cheer on. Your insults mean nothing to me. Quite literally nothing. I block and I move on. Because I don't need to place myself into the brains of people that I don't agree with just for my own ego. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. If I see a post that I don't like, I just scroll. If I see a post that I really don't like, I'll go as far as I'll click on you and I'll block you so I don't see you again. That, in my brain, is what you're supposed to do when you don't agree with somebody.
You know, I actually can respect that statement, but there's a two-pronged problem with that. One, the vast majority of the people on your side don't do that. But two, then you're just building an echo chamber. Just saying.
I get it that you don't agree with me, buddy.
Now, look, if you're just using Instagram or what the fuck ever to relax at the end of the day and you just want to make your content and not hear opposing views, that's your right. It's your channel, it's your Instagram page, it's your whatever the fuck on whatever the fuck platform. You can run it how you wish.
Block me. Because that's what I did to you. No more. You can't see my shit no more. I will say it again.
If I wanted an echo chamber, none of you'd be in the chat right now.
If you like Trump, if you voted for Trump, if you support Trump or anything that he's doing, if you like ICE, if you support ICE, fuck you, you're not welcome here.
Aww. I was gonna make homemade pizza and see if you wanted to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre with me, but I guess, oh well.
I don't respect you. I don't want you here. If you want to argue about it, you're talking to no one because I'm gonna block you. Fuck off.
Hey, so if you wake up every day and you think, what the fuck, you're not alone, because it's crazy. And it's really, really hard to move through life like everything is normal and like go to work and pay your bill.
Everything is normal. My life hasn't changed during the second Trump term, during Joe Biden's term, except the extent of the COVID bullshit. The first Trump term, when Obama was president, when Bush, you know.
And be a normal function.
Ah, fuck. I gotta piss. I'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Not neurotic person right now. because this is chaos, and we as humans are simply not equipped to deal with this constant whiplash, the will they, won't they. If you're an empathetic person, as well as a knowledgeable and understanding.
Well, empathy is a lie, and no human is an empath because we can't read minds. Wish we could. Or at least I wish I could. Make playing poker a hell of a lot easier.
Person, the entire situation that we're in is such a mental battle, because on the one hand, you feel so deeply for a people that you've never met.
I don't give a rat's ass. Here's the thing. You're a pretty girl. Maybe focus on becoming a mommy.
At the same time, you have the understanding that it's your tax dollars that have paid for it, and the knowledge that...
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the Iran war, the Israel-Gaza thing? What the fuck are you talking about?
There is no reason at all that we would be doing this, or should be doing this, rather. And it is a very precarious position to be in, knowing that we are likely the most unsafe we have ever been, because leadership isn't...
Oh my God, unsafe from what threat? What threat?
Entirely incompetent. So if you...
Okay, so if you... I don't get this. Whatever.
So wake up every morning and go, what the fuck?
Actually, I wake up and go, well, time to go to work.
You're not alone. Join the club. It's not a fun club, but like, we have wine.
Here's a thought. Maybe have a spa day, get your eyebrows done. And yeah, maybe focus on becoming a mommy. Just saying. You might be happier.
I have wine.
I have beer.
Has destroyed what it means to be a Christian and the work.
How? Look, one of the things about Donald Trump is he might be a Christian in name only, but he is not a deeply religious man. When do you think the last time Trump went to church actually was?
Christianity. Can I just rant for a second on this Easter Sunday? I am a liberal Christian, democratic values, and I'm scared to tell people that I go to church because I don't want people to think I'm a conservative MAGA. And that's terrible. But I grew up.
Well, you could just say, hey, I'm a practicing Christian, but I voted for Kamala Harris. Again, MAGA won't crucify you for it. Your side, if you voted for Trump, your side will crucify them.
And I've gone to the most amazing, accepting liberal church in the center of the main line in Lower Merion called Gladwin Presbyterian. And I went to the best church service today. They are accepting and loving. They have liberal values. They support homeless.
So do the Catholics.
Hispanic, gay marriage. They are accepting of everyone, just like Jesus was. So if you're ever looking for something as a liberal, young liberal Christian, find a church that is accepting. Find that church for you. And if you're looking for it and you live in the Lower Merion area or anywhere surrounding in the Philadelphia area, please look at my church, Gladwin Presbyterian. It's a tiny little congregation, but it's awesome. So find that church that's for you, because it's okay to be a liberal Christian. And it's okay to love Jesus, but not love MAGA. So please try it out.
Also, I don't remember Trump's campaign rallies and his campaign being all Jesus-y. Like, you can make that case for George W. Bush. You can make that case, but Trump, not so much.
Happy Easter. Oh, and also, you can find accepting churches on gaychurch.org. There's a whole list of churches that accept gay marriage and all of those liberal values that will accept anyone. So check it out.
So will the Church of Satan. All right. All right. We're going to go with Mike from the Humanist Report. The DNC operatives finally admit privately why Kamala Harris lost to Trump in 20. Like, you this wasn't blatantly obvious? Let's see. She got the job as VP because she was a black woman. Or a black-ish, kind of black woman. Because her mom's from India, her dad's from, I think, Jamaica. 2, she got it because Joe Biden promised to give the VP position to a black woman. She got blown out of the water. Her campaign was entirely destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard in 2 minutes. And I'm not joking. It was literally 2 minutes. You didn't hold a primary once Joe Biden decided to drop out of the race. She was just anointed the candidate. And she was terrible. So, I don't know what the fucking mystery of this was.
It was Gaza.
Yeah, but what does it mean to be black? Does it mean to come from the continent of Africa or Jamaica? Or the island of Jamaica, to be specific.
Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump in 2024 largely because of her position on Gaza. At least according to this Axios article we're going to talk.
Okay, I don't know where they're getting that conclusion from, but it wasn't just Gaza.
About
because her and Trump held damn near the same position.
Which sheds light on a DNC autopsy about the 2024 election that the party...
But again, I thought the politically correct term for black people were African Americans. She didn't have a descendant from Africa. And again, I like what Raven-Symoné said. I'm just a black American. How many generations do you have to be here? Again, it's like me if I said I'm European American. No, I'm not. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I have as much to do with Norway as I do with Uganda.
is choosing to keep from the public. Now, the article explains that party officials held closed-door meetings with pro-Palestinian groups as part of their investigation into why they lost, and IMEU in particular told them that their complicity with the Palestinian genocide cost them support with Arab Americans as well.
So they had a conversation with a pro-Palestinian group. Well, of course they're going to say that. The group they're having the conversation with is biased.
As young people and progressives, and party officials confirmed this with them. A spokesperson for IMEU says the DNC shared with us that their own data also found that the policy was, in their words,
if one of your parents is a U.S. citizen, you're not an anchor baby. An anchor baby involves either a mother or a mother and father who are foreign nationals coming here specifically so the mother can give birth within the United States so that the baby gets automatic citizenship. That is anchor babies. If one of your parents is a U.S. citizen, that is not an anchor baby.
Net negative in the 2024 election, and Axios verified that the party officials who conducted the autopsy did in fact conclude that the issue harmed the party's standing with some voters. Now,
and by the way, my family goes all the way to the founding of the country, so I'm as American as you can get.
I'll keep in mind that this is just another piece of evidence that points to Gaza being a major factor in Kamala Harris's defeat. A different autopsy on the 2024 election by Roots Action concludes that the Gaza effect was one of 5 main reasons why Harris...
It's funny. we're the only country where the whole African-American thing is. You go down to South America and you ask some black guy in Brazil, are you African Brazilian? He's like, no, I'm Brazilian. It's the only one here. And we're probably the only country where they want to go, where there's a group of them that just desperately, but they really don't want to go back to the motherland, Africa, till they find out most of it is a complete shithole and want to come back.
Lost the election, particularly because young voters as well as Arab American voters in key states like Michigan didn't want to come out and vote for her since she refused to break with Biden on his unconditional support for Israel. And to go back to the IMEU data that they presumably presented to the DNC, they found that nearly 30% of 2020 Biden voters in swing states who didn't vote for Harris in 2024 say that their number one issue was Gaza. And more than a third of them said that they would have voted for Harris if she promised to withhold weapons to Israel. So it's not surprising to see the DNC come to the same conclusion, because even without all of the data, it was pretty obvious. And it's an open secret in DC that she did indeed lose because of her position on Israel-Palestine. But
trust me, whatever damage her stance on Israel-Gaza was, it paled in comparison, Mike, to a plethora of other reasons. I read her book, 107 Days, okay? She gave every excuse in the world.
they just don't want to admit that. But just to show you what I mean, a comms director for Omar and Ellison in Minnesota said,
she's just a terrible politician. Like it or not, what I say next is true. This woman literally started her career sucking a man's dick who was old enough to be her grandfather. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. She was an adult. She can blow whoever the fuck she wants. But at the same point, she did it to start her political career.
As when you talk to Democratic operatives in D.C. privately, every single one of them admits that Gaza is the reason Harris lost. It is universally believed, and nobody will talk about it.
So the fact that she wouldn't do Rogan, the fact that she didn't give an interview for the first, 45, 50, 60 days of her campaign, something like that, had nothing to do with it. The fact that she looked like an idiot on the debate stage had nothing to do with it. The fact that they literally could pound the hell out of her for saying that prison inmates deserve to get trans surgeries at taxpayer expense. That had nothing to do with it. The fact that she was a terrible presidential candidate had nothing to do with it. The fact that there was no primary had nothing to do with it. The fact that there was no anything had nothing to do with it. Oh, it was all just the whole Gaza thing.
Publicly. It's why the DNC didn't publish its post-mortem. But it's not like they weren't warned, because Waleed Shahid adds, for over a year, I warned operatives, pollsters, and Biden-Harris staff that Gaza...
Who the fuck is that? Sorry, I've never heard of this Waleed person.
Policy was costing us votes. I was told it wasn't in the numbers. After the election, some conceded it was a political calculation that shifting risked Harris looking too liberal to voters and donors. In the end, risk aversion and condescension masqueraded.
Because the majority of the American populace support Israel, whether you like it or not. Now, those numbers are shifting, but at the moment... And again, she also took several 20% sides of 80-20 issues. Not to mention, she copied a lot of Trump's shit. Like no taxes on tips. Trump was the first to propose that, then she decided to take it.
As wisdom. It cost lives, it cost trust, it may have cost an election. So the Democratic Party's base wanted a weapons...
But if Israel was the only thing in this election, that did not cost her the election. I'm sorry, Mike. Why am I I'm like a half-ass defending Kamala Harris. There was many other things. Many other things. I would say the biggest thing that cost her, if I had to pick the single biggest thing that cost her the election, it was when, I forget who and I forget where, but when they said, would you have done anything different from what President Biden had done? She should have been able to at least say one. And she said, no, I would have done everything the same. Well, great. Oh, Biden was ungodly unpopular. You just signed on to him. But again, I don't think any one thing can ruin a primary campaign, but one thing can't ruin a presidential campaign. But if I had to say the single most damaging event, I would say it's that versus Israel-Gaza, which probably the average American doesn't give a sauteed rat's ass about. Not to mention, Joe was willing to bend over backwards for her. He said we can do it anytime. All she's got to do is show up in, I forget what city, but somewhere in Texas. I'll say Houston. All she's got to do is show up at my studio. We can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. I'll have her on. She wouldn't do it, and they only wanted it to go for 45 minutes. Meanwhile, Trump, literally within 2 days, was at Joe Rogan. He's like, whatever, I'll do it. Rogan signs the standard release or whatever for people to sign when they go on his show. Trump doesn't even read it, just give me it. All right, let's go, 3 hours. And proceeds to sit there and talk to Rogan for 3 hours. Or more. I don't know how long it went. Then J.D. Vance did it. Tim Walz couldn't even be bothered to do it.
Embargo, or for Harris to condition aid at a minimum.
And another thing that hurt her was her pick of VP, which was Tim Walz. A better bet would have been Josh Shapiro, because she probably would have gotten Pennsylvania then. So Trump wouldn't have had a sweep of the swing states. But again, on the Democrat side of things, Shapiro's Jewish. For whatever reason, the Democrats are pissed off with Jews. Even though most men on the left most people on the left are feminists or male feminists. And you want to see a real patriarchy? Go over there. Go to any place where Islam or Sharia law is in effect. I mean, I don't want women to cover up. I want women wearing less. A lot less.
And she refused to listen, even though they couldn't have possibly been more clear, even though we all knew this was a possibility.
And I do not want to have to go out anytime any chick I know needs to go somewhere. Jesus Christ, can you imagine NFL Sunday? Sitting down, it's noon, watching the game, got your beer cracked. We can't even have beer, so that's gone. Watching the game, and then suddenly your wife says, honey, we need to go grocery shopping. Yeah, that lasts about 5 minutes in America.
And because she chose to not listen, she paid the price for it. The whole party paid the price for it. As a matter of fact, we're all paying the price for their unwillingness to listen. And this is not controversial to...
Except, Mike, you're a progressive, or you're a socialist, or you're a whatever. You're not a majority in the Democratic Party, and if the Democrats keep going down this progressive road, you're going to lose election after election after election because the country is not with you. You might win primaries. I'll grant you that. But outside of a few very blue, vote blue no matter whose cities, that will be the extent. And counties, that will be the extent of your influence if the Democrats keep going down this road.
In fact, Kamala Harris even admitted such in her book. She called Biden's response to the genocide, quote, inadequate, and admits that Biden's perceived blank check to Netanyahu hurt her. The problem, however, is that she did nothing to distance herself from that terrible policy. In fact, she tethered herself to that sinking ship and repeatedly insisted that there was no daylight between her and Biden on the issue of Gaza. And here we are now, as a result.
No, she didn't say there's no daylight between me and him on Gaza. There was no daylight between him and her on everything. That's what sunk her. It wasn't just this one issue.
In a soft dictatorship with an absolute madman as...
How are we in a soft dictatorship? Do we have the House? Yes. Do we have the Senate? Yes. Has Trump been stopped by courts during his second term? Yes. If we were in a dictatorship, Trump could just do whatever the fuck he wanted. And as for him being a madman, well, no, he's not. Joe Biden was closer to that. But not madman as in crazy, madman just due to dementia.
President. And even though it's unclear if we're going to even have free and fair elections in the future, I do still think that it's important.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you win, you'll call them free and fair. If you lose, you'll call them rigged. Now, I will be the first to admit that, yeah, Trump's side did that too. MAGA did that too. And I was one of the first people off board with it. I can't remember the woman's name, but it was the one lady that said, "We're going to unleash the Kraken." And after 3 days, and she kept saying, "Unleash the Kraken, unleash the Kraken." I'm like, where's the fucking Kraken? That's why I'm not a big... That's why I think conspiracy theories are fucking retarded. Absolutely fucking retarded. Again, if you want to know how badly people are at secrets, Watergate had 4 guys involved. It got found out. Clinton Lewinsky had 2 people involved, and it got found out. Humans suck at secrets.
That we look back and learn from 2024 in the event democracy is restored one day. Because if Democrats make the same mistakes again and again and again, they're...
Don't worry, they will.
...going to keep losing. And it's not like this is the first time that happened.
No, I think one of the big reasons why they lose, Mike, is because they keep embracing progressive politics. The country, whether you like it or not, is not progressive. I would say the country is somewhere slightly center right to slightly center left. That's where the bulk of the voters are. They are not on the extreme left, nor are they on the extreme right. If they were, if the country was as right-wing as you say, the country would be split between the Republicans and the Libertarians.
Back in 1968, Humphrey waited too long to distance himself from Johnson's disastrous support for the Vietnam War, and that led to Nixon's victory.
And Nixon ended the Vietnam War, so what is your problem with that?
If Democrats never learn obvious lessons from the past, they're going to keep emboldening right-wing conmen in future elections. Now, the good news is that Democrats are slowly but surely realizing that their unconditional support for Israel is politically untenable. Even Gavin Newsom is suddenly pretending to oppose AIPAC, even though he recently implied that Van Lathan was anti-Semitic for saying that he wouldn't vote for a candidate that took AIPAC money. Now, even though it's good to see them...
Mike, this is where I'm going to end the broadcast. This is my final thought. Whatever. This is my final thought for this. I'm going to go on for a little bit longer. I'm having fun. Mike, can you be gay in Israel? The answer is yes. Can you be gay in Gaza? Openly gay in Gaza? The answer is absolutely not. You're arguing for a belief system and a form of government and a group of people that will kill you simply because you like to suck dick. That's one of the dumbest shirts I have ever seen, and these are common, is Queers for Palestine. If Palestine ever came back, let's say you got your wish, Israel's wiped out the face of the fucking earth, and from the river to the sea, Palestine is now free. Yeah, guess what? Every gay person is getting chucked off the roof of a fucking building. That's what they do to them over there. You can look that up. I recommend you don't. I want to strongly recommend you don't, but you can. Anyway, let's do the Andrew Wilson thing. I've gone after the leftists enough. Let's go over this.
To this argument,
you would outlaw homosexuality.
Well,
okay.
I would outlaw homosexual marriage.
But isn't homosexuality?
Okay, he would outlaw homosexual marriage. I'm going to let him finish his argument, and then I'm going to explain to him why he is completely wrong under U.S. law.
Wrong also?
Sure, it's immoral.
So
but
why wouldn't you outlaw?
You don't need to necessarily.
First off, why is homosexuality immoral? If you want to go with the Bible, now the Bible does condemn male-on-male sexual contact. But female-female is just fine, even in Leviticus. Leviticus literally ends. The whole man may not lie with this, with that, with the other. It's sex specific, because Leviticus ends talking about the ladies. And the only thing the only thing women can't do, they can fuck whoever they want. They just can't fuck the family dog. And I'm not joking. That's in there. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what kind of fucked up parties did the ancients have? Damn. But as for immorality, well, what about if it's two women? Because according to the Bible, that's just perfectly fine. And according to Jesus, your big guy, Jesus never actually speaks out against homosexuality at all. Ever. In fact, it's only mentioned once in the Bible in a very in the New Testament, once in a very passing manner. So as for the morality of it, and also this idea of it being moral or immoral, that's just completely ridiculous. Morality changes over time. You want a few examples? Okay, fine. The last public execution wasn't even 100 years ago. It was in 1933. That was the last public execution. Not too long before then, they were public entertainment. Come on, honey. Pack the picnic lunch, grab the kids. We're going to watch a bunch of motherfuckers get hung. During the first Battle of Bull Run, people brought picnic lunches and were going to be spectators to the battle. Now, this was not, I want to reiterate, this was not a reenactment. This was the actual battle. Real men getting really killed, really mutilated, and they were treating it as a spectator sport. This was in the 1860s. I could go on with other examples, but I trust my point's been made. This idea of morality, it's always changed. Hell, as late as the 1900s, girls as young as 14, 15 was perfectly fine for them to be married. Do we do that today? No! Morality changes. What we view as moral one day may be considered at the normal level immoral the next. Not to mention, morality is damn near individualistic. I mean, there are some people that think eating meat is immoral and akin to murder. There are these annoying people. They're called vegans.
They always place a law in against something which is immoral. It's not always conducive to the society to do that.
That's fair.
I would say for homosexuality, you're not going to jail. Nobody's going to bust in your bedroom and tell you what's what. But there's not going to be any rainbow flags in the White House either. There's not going to be any...
I'm fine with no rainbow flags being in the White House because it's a government building. The only flags that should be there are the American ones. But if a cafe owned by two women want to fly the pride flag, they have that right.
Any pro-gay government propaganda anywhere.
Does that not go against the First Amendment?
Well, I think that...
First Amendment doesn't really apply to government entities. However, I will say, while I would be against a library printing pro-gay material, I would have no problem with the library having pro-gay material in their lobby or available if a private citizen donated it. That's the difference.
That would be...
I care more about who paid for it.
The most important aspect of the First Amendment to say that the government's not going to propagandize towards one ideology or the other.
Except you are propagandizing toward an ideology, Andrew, and I will explain to you why at the end of this short.
But Christian, yeah.
What about it?
Should that be in public communication?
In this particular case, I do think it should be, yeah.
That's a direct violation of the First Amendment. Or did you fall asleep whenever one of your teachers said the government shall make no law establishing a religion or basically giving a preference to one? Andrew, you're playing a dangerous game here, because if the 10 Commandments can be in a public school, guess what? The Statue of Baphomet can be as well. Either everything's cool or none of it's cool, and I prefer the latter.
What if the billboards had things like family, and it showed a mommy and a daddy and the kids and the...
That's fine, as long as the money comes from a private group and not the government.
Push was towards the ideas of normalcy. This is what we want to see in society. What if tax breaks went to married people? Some Eastern European countries have done, which has helped their birth rates, where it's like, okay, you have 3 kids, you don't have to pay taxes anymore.
Oh, some...
Okay. Then everyone in America will just get hitched up, have 3 kids, and the tax system collapses. That's kind of stupid. Also, most Europeans don't have a military budget because we're protecting them for free, at least at the moment. Oh, that's another thing I do as president. All these European bases and military and our protection. Guess what? You're paying us protection money or we're gone. You deal with Russia.
Me up for that.
Listen carefully.
Okay, so allow me to explain why he is wrong in this. Right now, married people, a man and a woman, they enjoy special rights and privileges that, let's say, a boyfriend and a girlfriend do not, because they swore an oath to whatever God they believe in, and more importantly, to the state. Now, if it was up to me, I think the government has no business in marriage. I don't think there should be. I'm against marriage laws in general. And yes, this includes, like, let's say polygamy. If 2 guys and 1 chick want to get married and whatever, that's their business. The government has no business in it. But I'm just going to deal with the law as it is right now. Okay, under the Constitution, you cannot grant one group of people special rights and privileges and not guarantee it to the other group of people just because their relationship is a little bit different. As of right now, it's a numbers game if you're going to go with the polygamy argument. Right now, marriage is defined between two people. Will that change in the future? Who the fuck knows? And I believe, if my memory is correct, this was decided by a conservative Supreme Court. But again, I could be wrong. So, yeah, Andrew, I don't know what to tell you, but you don't live in a Christian nation. You live in a secular nation. Now, granted, 70% of the population is Christian, but you live in a secular nation. We were founded as a secular nation. Most of the founding fathers were deists, not Christians. So I don't know where you get this ridiculous notion that, you know, we do things based on you can't deny X to Y and you can't deny Y to X. Based on nothing more than an argument from your own personal morality. Me, personally, I don't think gay marriage is immoral. If they want to be as married and as miserable as most straight people, then fine, fuck it, let them. If you want to use the Bible as a defense, then that's a real bad idea because the Bible has a bunch of immoral shit in it that we wouldn't even consider doing today. So I hate this argument. Children should not vote. The only group of minors that you might be able to make an argument for is 16-year-olds because they do work and they pay taxes. So at least they have some skin in the game. But do I think 8-year-olds should vote? No, absolutely not. They'll just vote whatever the way mommy tells them to or daddy tells them to with the promise of pizza later. Sorry, but there's a reason hack magicians were kids' parties. All right, we'll do one more from Andrew Wilson.
Picks apart this guy's argument in seconds in this debate.
I'm ceding. Even if Christians are totally wrong and the whole shit is made up and out of their brains, it's still better for society than whatever you have.
Where is your evidence of that?
Yeah, so here's my evidence of this. Let's start with the secular nations not being able to reproduce themselves. And the more secularist a nation gets, the less likely they are to be able to reproduce them.
Well, granted, there is evidence for that, as a lot of European and Western nations are under replacement rate, with Japan and China being the worst.
Themselves. How do you have humans flourish if you don't have humans?
Just because the population isn't exploding doesn't mean people are not well or happy. What makes you think?
But here's the thing. Andrew offers no solution. Now, maybe it was cut out. I'll grant you this is a short. But he has a huge problem, and I have to fucking pee again. Okie dokie.
Mark, do you know how to do? Mark, do you know how to do
tons
math?
and tons of humans is actually somehow people not being well. How did you get there?
Mark, do you need to have humans for the humans to be well? Mark, they're predicting population collapse in almost every single Western nation which can't reproduce itself. Show me any secularist society which is their population's increasing domestically. The populations which increase are religious. You're right, Mark. There are going to be some humans.
But again, we're not exactly a secular society when 70% of the population is Christian. And while give him the last 10 seconds. And the populations of the countries that are above replacement rate, and he is correct on this, it's not because fuck it. It's because of lack of birth control.
Humans who continue to populate the religious ones.
Boom, roasted. Got your ass, bitch.
Andrew.
No. Okay. So he offered no solution, so I'm going to ask if he sees this. Andrew, what is your solutions? Do we force people to get married? Like, if somebody hits a certain age, we just pair them with somebody? Do we force people to have kids? And, quite frankly, how many kids? Because, like it or not, Andrew, there's a maximum number of children a person can have, or a couple can have, before there's just not enough hours in the day to give them the attention they need. The number is about 6. It's like, why do you think kids from large families, some of them are fucked up? Oh, it's because they were the ignored middle ones. I mean, look at the well, okay, the Duggars are extremely religious freaks, but look at them. Moore got arrested for the exact same shit. I mean, what's the solution? Do we force people to have kids? Or, well, not people, women to have kids? That's odd, because then we're going to have to massively increase the welfare state, which is another argument I have against you fuckers that want to ban abortion. I'm pretty sure you're one of them. We're going to have to massively expand the welfare state if you do that. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to pay for it. So I'm fine with abortion. And again, at the end of the day, the dinosaurs had no such reproductive straits against them, and they're gone. Because all it takes is tomorrow an asteroid hits, and we're all fucked. All right. I think that's enough for one night. Fuck it. Why not? One more time. One more. All right, we'll do this short.
Because it's so funny.
Was the world better, but it was harder to see boobs? Women are perverts now. We have become the perverts. In fact, what's even more ironic is that as we point the finger and pretend that men are the perverts, time's up. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Wait for it.
It is so clearly evident everywhere that you look in society that it's actually us. Now the results of it. What is happening? Women are virtually showing up into male spaces half naked and then complaining that they're the victims. Why are you?
Yeah, exactly. You dress like a whore and then get annoyed when you get the attention of a whore.
You looking at me? And then I saw this picture. Yes, Emily Ratajkowski.
Here it comes.
I don't know what she has done in society other than be naked.
I don't even know who the fuck that is, so somebody fill me in.
Writing a book and convincing us that men are looking at her, making her a sexual object. Poor.
Yeah, because you present it, and also that's called male attraction. 91% of the male population is straight. And the first thing we notice about a girl is, oh shit, she's fucking gorgeous. Then we start to appreciate the other aspects of you. But generally, the first thing we're thinking about before we even say hi is, oh my God, great ass, great tits, pretty face, something. Some guys like feet.
Emily Ratajkowski, but I do want to show you this photo of her, and this is what.
So basically, she showed up in a dress that is a see-through dress wearing a bikini. I don't know why Candace Owens couldn't show this, but whatever, it's her channel. Yeah, that's... And you wonder why you get sexualized. You sexualize yourself. Pretty much most women just sexualize themselves and then bitch about it later.
What Emily Ratajkowski decided to wear. In what setting would you say, no, actually, this outfit is appropriate? Do you know how furious I would be if I was walking with my 2-year-old son and she got out of the car dressed like that?
How crazy. Well, I don't know, Candace. What if you were at the water park and that was her bikini? Would you be furious then? Not for nothing. And also, Candace, you still have a good body. Do you wear a bikini when you're at the pool? Just saying.
If you're offended by minorities talking about their lived experiences, you're the problem.
Learn to fucking sing a song that fucking rhymes.
If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem. If you're immediately reprimanding instead of listening and understanding, if you're offended by people's lived experiences, you're the problem.
Unless you can present me some fucking evidence, you're a fucking dumb blonde cunt.
Oh!
What a nice, catchy little tune for children. Something for the kids to clap along to. It's just terrible. It's terrible and woke. Anyways, this is your boy Red Channels here on the Make America Great Again Revenge Tour, with some more clips, some more compilations of progressive cringe. So without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hey neighbor, I'm here and I'm genderqueer.
What in the holy high hell is that thing?
I want you to know that you are amazing. You deserve every single human right allotted to you.
Well, every single human being has every single human right. I don't know what is going on with you, but you need to have a few rights taken away. Or be put in an asylum for a while.
Because you are human. That's no matter who you are. That doesn't matter if you're an immigrant, doesn't matter if you're queer, doesn't matter if you're trans, doesn't matter where you're from. Just because you're human. And that's what my ancestors meant when they were on the Continental Congress. That's what my ancestors were looking.
Who wants to tell her the uncomfortable truth about the Continental Congress and a certain group of people they didn't think were equal? Do they teach history in school anymore?
Looking for when they landed on Plymouth Rock. That's why my ancestors.
Oh my God. The Pilgrims, assuming you're descended from them, I don't give a rat's ass about your heritage, were a group of religious fundamental Puritan fanatics that got kicked out of England because they were pissing everyone else off.
Were the colonial assholes they were, because they were looking for the freedom to be who they were. And they found that here with the indigenous people of America.
Whatever.
Now they were assholes. And once they found it, they were mean to indigenous people of America.
No, they actually weren't. From what I know from the historical record, the Pilgrims were actually just fine. It was everyone else. Now, and also, some of the colonies traded goods with the Indians for their land. And the thing the Indians wanted most was guns so they could conquer other tribes. Again, you have this distorted view of history that before Whitey showed up, every fucking tribe was just sitting there going, "Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, Squano sitting with Pocahontas, oh Lord, kumbaya."
But we are now older and wiser than them, right? It's been a while.
No, it's just you grew up in a different time than them. This is something else that I hate from the left. If you had been born, every single person that, if you were born in the antebellum South in 1838, grew up on a plantation, you would have been a slave owner. It's like flying private.
Let's clean up our...
And you can't apply 21st century morality to a situation that hasn't existed for 200 years.
act. No is a one-word sentence.
A short list of my very basic political beliefs that have sent liberals.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ in heaven.
Into
oh, God, this poor girl got all of her dad's looks.
A conniption. Books should be free. No one.
Books should be free. Okay, how does the author get paid to write the book? How does the printing press and publishing house get paid to print and distribute the book? How does the bookstore make money to stay open? I mean, they're all getting killed by Amazon. There's only one book chain left, Barnes and Noble. You are fucking retarded.
Should be an American presence. Prisons should not exist. Police cause far more harm.
Prisons should not exist. So the guy who diddles the 6-year-old, what do we do with him? Give him a talking to? I mean, if your solution is just death, okay, fine. But outside of that, what do you propose we do with him?
Than good.
Okay, so if I break into your house and start stealing your shit, you're not going to call the cops? Good to know.
Social workers are just police in a different font.
So you don't even like social workers. So a drug addicted parents are forgetting to feed their kids. They're small children who cannot feed themselves on a regular basis. What the fuck do we do with that? You're living in this reality that CBS routinely just investigates parents that didn't do anything wrong, or they have a dick-headed neighbor. When most of the time CPS gets involved in actual abuse, actual neglect cases. The cops, they stop genuine crimes. Look, I know you got most of your dad's looks. I'm assuming you're not a trans female. Because I don't see an Adam's apple. But what the hell? You can't be this stupid.
My body, my choice includes drug users.
Look, I tend to think I don't think drugs should be illegal. That's my personal choice. That's what I believe. But I also believe if you would like to purchase the drug of your choice, you have to make the money to purchase it legally. You can't steal from people. And you can't cause harm while you're on said drug. If you do, you shall be punished. If you steal to get your fix of heroin, then you shall be punished.
Everyone is entitled to safe living conditions.
You literally just said we can't put anyone in prison, so how the fuck do safe living conditions exist? Like, I don't want to go after the mentally handicapped, but Jesus Christ, am I going after the mentally handicapped?
Even the unhoused, even while they are unhoused. You cannot truly fight for a free Palestine while living complicit on stolen land.
Oh my God, lady, if Palestine got what it wanted, you'd be wearing a fucking hijab. And actually, the land is not stolen. I'll explain that. Oh my God.
Universities and prisons are two sides of the same coin.
Wait, what?
Palestine while living complicit on stolen land. Universities and prisons are two sides of the same coin.
Universities and prisons are two sides of the same coin. Okay. I'm going to make this very brief, or this TikTok. Please tell me this is a joke. Please tell me she is not this stupid. Universities, you don't even have to show up to class and you pay to go to. Prisons, you can't leave and you don't pay to go to.
It's a red flag if someone has no fat friends. It is
What if he's on the college football team?
It's not about whether someone deserves the death penalty. It is about whether the state deserves to administer it.
Yet you're fine with abortion. Same thing at the end of the day.
National parks are some of the most egregious land theft in this country.
This has got to be fake. This has got to be fake. This cannot be possibly real. This cannot be possibly real.
If they exist, they should be stewarded by local tribes.
You realize that I've actually talked to Native Americans, and a lot of them know jack and shit about cultivating or stewarding land. That's a rather racist assumption of you, my dear.
Even the very worst offenders in prison deserve dignity.
So we can have prison. And no, they don't.
Basic rights.
No.
And fair legal protections.
I don't care if they die.
Workers should own the means of production.
Great. So the guy who invested his own capital to start the company gets nothing. This is why socialism doesn't work. How much longer is this? I'm just curious to see where this end game is.
If you have any to add or you want me to explain any of them, let me know in the comments.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a high school math teacher and I have a pride flag in my classroom.
Oh, God. You should be fired immediately.
My job is to teach students math, but it's significantly more than just that.
No, it's not. You teach them fucking math. All right, that last girl fucking drained me. Anyway, good night, everybody.